Let's bring in Texas Senator Ted Cruz. And Senator Nancy Pelosi was asked about this. Let's put it up on the screen for everyone. She said, no, I don't think that she, Maxine Waters, should apologize. And the question posed, do you think that her comments incite violence, though? And she said, no, absolutely not. We are going to hear from the Republican House members at 10. What do you expect them to do? And what would you advise the Democrats to do in this situation?
Well, listen, I think that the House, of course, they should censure Maxine Waters. She does this over and over again. She was on the streets encouraging protesters in Minneapolis to engage in violence, to engage in riots. Listen, in Minneapolis and all across the country, shop owners, cities are preparing for violent riots, and there are Democrats like Maxine Waters who are encouraging. They want to see more stores looted. They want to see more police cars firebombed. They want to see the violence because they think it serves their political ends. And the dirty little secret is, as bad as Maxine Waters' comments were, they're not an outlier in the Democratic Party. You have Democrats encouraging this violence. For example, the last time we had riots all across the country, Kamala Harris raised money for the bail to bail out the violent protesters who were committing these acts of violence. And today's Democratic Party has decided that violence can benefit them politically. I think it's wrong. I think we should condemn violence from any political perspective, whether right wing, left wing, or no wings at all. Violence is never acceptable, and we ought to be keeping people safe. Sadly, that's not where the Democrats are.
You need 2 or 3 votes from Democrats to get a censure if it comes to that. We'll see whether or not it does. Chad Pergram, our congressional correspondent, last night reporting that several Democrats are upset. No names given, but Democrats are beside themselves about Waters. That was his headline, especially after the judge called her out from the bench. We'll see where that goes. Another topic, the Green New Deal is going supersized, Senator. Here is the proposal now. Biden administration wants $40 billion. AOC and Bernie Sanders are now talking about $172 billion. I guess it's not in the trillions yet.
Well, and look, that's just the public housing piece. So that's one piece of the Green New Deal. You look at the Biden infrastructure plan, and it is in the trillions. It's at $2.6 trillion. You've got AOC up on the screen. Her Green New Deal, the full Green New Deal, is $93 trillion. $93 trillion is $600,000 for every single household in America. I've got a suggestion for the Democrats. See if they can find 10 households willing to contribute $600,000. And the only caveat is their names can't be things like Zuckerberg or Gates. If they're not billionaires, I challenge them to find 10 households willing to do that. They can't. And so what they want to do instead is have the federal government put that debt burden and those taxes on everybody. I think this is a serious mistake. I think it is bad for the economy. I think it destroys jobs. And we're going to see, unfortunately, a lot more of it from Biden and Schumer and Pelosi.
I was curious about how it affects people in your state that maybe work in the oil industry. These are people that many oil companies are also trying at the same time to figure out a way to be innovative. I know that Exxon announced yesterday a big carbon capture innovation that they're trying to work on. There's some oil companies are willing to do a climate tax or carbon tax. In the meantime, you have workers who are actually trying to put food on the table with the jobs that we have today, not the jobs of 50 years from now.
Well, Dana, you're right that if the objective is to clean the environment, everyone wants a cleaner environment. We all want cleaner air. We all want cleaner water. The best way to do that is innovation. Last year, the country that led the world in reducing carbon emissions was the United States of America, by far. And what the Biden administration is doing is they have this deep, deep antipathy to U.S. energy production. The United States is energy independent today. We're the leading producer of oil. We're the leading producer of natural gas. And the Biden administration wants to stop that. On day one, he signed an order shutting down the Keystone Pipeline. That killed 11,000 jobs with a stroke of a pen. It killed 8,000 union jobs, good paying jobs. And the people of Texas, you asked how they're feeling. They're feeling under assault. Texans want jobs. We want to go to work. We want to provide for our families. And this Biden administration, they've made a decision. They had a choice between, do they listen to California environmentalist billionaires, or do they care about the jobs of union workers? Both have traditionally been Democratic constituents.
Yeah.
And what Biden and Schumer and Pelosi have decided is the money from the California billionaires is a lot more important to them than the jobs of the steel workers and the truck drivers and the working men and women. I think that's a serious mistake. I think it has also caused the most important political shift of the last decade, which is the Republican Party becoming the party of working men and women. I think that's who we are.
But Senator, here's the rub. I mean, Democrats are going at it alone on this. When you had that meeting in the Oval Office yesterday and Senator Hoeven from North Dakota said there's broad support for infrastructure, I believe a bipartisan bill is possible. We've got to do it in a targeted way that doesn't raise taxes. I don't know how you get Republicans 4 years after they cut taxes to go back on that vote from 4 years earlier. We will see you then. Please come back, okay? Senator
Thank you.
Ted Cruz, thank you for coming in today.